What's up, my beautiful residents of Dangerville? Alistair here, and I'm here to be the bringer of good news, as we've been beginning to hear critics' opinions based on early screenings of Godzilla, King of the Monsters that was premiered at the Cinerama Dome at Hollywood late last week. And before we get into it, be sure to follow us on Twitter and join the other residents to receive news even earlier than the video's release, and so you can join in on the conversation. And now, on to the video. The director of Godzilla 2, Michael Dougherty, was present at the Cinerama Dome, which has previously been used to promote other big movies like Shrek 2, Spider-Man, and Minions. They were hosting a fan screening event where influencers were invited to watch the film early. But I'm not sure why we weren't there, Mr. Dougherty. Why didn't you invite us, Michael? Since the screenings, we've been beginning to hear reviews from those present, and the reception has been overwhelmingly positive. One such review from Stephen Weintraub, the editor-in-chief for Collider.com, stated that King of the Monsters is awesome and a vast improvement from Godzilla 2014. If you want to see Godzilla fighting other monsters, you will be happy. And continued to state that in the VFX department, King of the Monsters is insane, and he's impressed that Dougherty translated the monster fights from the classics so well. Another review from writer Megan Peters states that King of the Monsters is the film she's waited years to see, and that it's a thrilling sequel that perfectly captures the spirit of the Japanese kaiju, while setting up its own reign for years to come, and that the film left her speechless with an epic scale that is hoped to leave audiences astounded. Also going on to say that it was atomically breathtaking, and that you should join the kaiju revolution if you haven't already. Our next review comes from Nerdist writer Dan Casey that suggests the film is easily the most fun blockbuster of the year, suggesting it's a more fun film than the critically acclaimed Avengers Endgame and the best entry in the Monsterverse yet. That the scale is mind-boggling and that every action scene could be your next desktop wallpaper. And he reiterates what most fans have been saying, which is that you need to see it on the biggest screen possible. Next up, Paul Shirley states that this is the modern Godzilla movie that you've been waiting for. It retains the best elements from 2014 and elevates them by 100 times. So damn good. I'm assuming he means that both the action and the human drama is escalated to a much greater level, which is promising because many fans were left underwhelmed by both those aspects in 2014. Next up, we have David Crow, a journalist, editor for Den of Geek, and a member of the Film Critics Society, and he states that King of the Monsters is the craziest, most entertaining American kaiju movie in existence. Pretty big words, and that even stating that won't do the film justice. He goes on to mention that the film itself is a weird hybrid of worshipped adoration for Godzilla, Ghidorah, and all the other monsters, and the camp and glee of Fight Night on WWE, and that it somehow still works. He also points out to Mothra fans that they should watch out during the waterfall reveal. Perhaps we'll see an Easter egg for the fairies? We'll have to wait and see for when the film comes out. Michael Shipman, editor and colorist, states the film is epic, and that the score is perfect, the pacing is great, and the monster fights are clear and jaw-dropping, which was something I had been worrying about after seeing the trailers. I didn't want the fights to be hidden behind the rain and storms created by Ghidorah. He says that Ghidorah is badass times 4,000, and that Serizawa thankfully lives up to his name. But what's super interesting is that he says a familiar monster makes an appearance, and in the thread states that everyone will recognize it. Is this merely the Muto he's referring to, or something else? Go write down in the comments what you think this kaiju is. There were many other reviews, such as this one from artist Dope Pope, where he states that he loves it and again reiterates that you should watch it on the biggest screen possible. Nicholas Whitcomb mentions how the third act is simply jaw-dropping, and that Dougherty did all these majestic creatures absolute justice, which is fantastic to hear. And finally, this comment from Lee Travis, where he states Godzilla is packed with larger-than-life action, breathtaking, and a modern marvel. Obviously, the reviews have been nothing but positive, and Legendary has certainly treated all these influences well, and definitely respect the impact they can make on how the millions of fans see the film prior to release. But it does make you think, what did they tell them before the film started? There's not a single bad review for this film just yet, and I'm not saying that they told people that didn't enjoy the film to stay quiet, but it is a bit suspicious that everyone liked it. I guess we'll just have to wait and see for when the film actually releases, but from what we've been hearing, King of the Monsters is sure shaping up to be a masterpiece of a Godzilla film. But for those wanting a film exactly like 2014, you may be left disappointed, since it seems to be focused much more on action than the human side of things, though from what we've heard, the human drama and the characters overall seem to be improved significantly, so I wouldn't worry too much. This is certainly one of those films where I imagine the audience's score will be significantly different from the critical score, much like how Godzilla 2014 was overwhelmingly praised by critics, yet left the general audience underwhelmed. This will likely have an opposite effect, with audiences loving it, leaving critics divided. But of course, the current ecosystem for film critics is an absolute mess. So go into the film with your own expectations and make of it as you will. It's just nice to hear that fans are having an overwhelmingly positive experience, which somehow gets me even more hyped, which I didn't even think was possible. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, be sure to subscribe and become a resident today, alongside tens of thousands of Godzilla fans in our glorious town of Dangerville. Remember to like today's video and comment down below what you're most excited to see in King of the Monsters. I've been Alistair, your Mayor of Dangerville, and we'll see you in the next one.